How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to today's Progress Yesterday's Plan. I'm very excited to start episode 3 of the podcast if you're listening, and if you're watching here on my channel, Sharkerio on YouTube. It'd be great if we hit that subscribe button if you're back and you like it, or if not, it's okay. I'm just trying to mess around with that algorithm. Anyway, so we're back this week. I don't know if you listened to the previous 2 episodes, but we're going to touch on what has been going on this week. I'm really excited because I've done a lot of progress this week and I got a couple shout outs. And if you've been listening to the previous episodes, you know I'm on a journey for hosting and bettering my on-camera skills and my hosting skills. And this past week, I was actually part of a contest. It was called the Pitching Package Contest 5-day challenge, and it was part of the TV Hosting Academy with hosting coach Nicole Sellers. And I'm very excited because I won the contest. The contest consisted of putting together a demo reel, putting together a resume, and a few headshots as a package that's going to be presented to agents and casting directors, etc. And for me, just to be a part of this challenge and work closely with Nicole was a big win for me, because I think I've accomplished so much in this week in putting together my materials than I have in the past. So that right there is a big win. If you're interested at all, you could check out the link in the description and you could see what that package looks like. And I took the win, right? So I'm going to get to choose a prize. I chose a really cool shirt that I should be getting shortly. But I'm very excited for the next step. And so for those of you following or watching that might be on a similar journey or want to start putting some content together for yourselves, follow along, because as I learn, I'm going to pass down this knowledge that you guys are going to be able to learn as well. And the next step for me is going to be the job search. So it's going to be pitching myself and applying to different jobs, and hopefully one day maybe landing an agent. But that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be learning. I have a lot of questions for my coach, and I'm excited to start that hopefully next week. It was a fun process picking out material for my demo reel. I don't have a lot of material, but I do have some material. So I was going back, looking at some older stuff and some more recent stuff that I've done, and actually created a few pieces to include in there. And it's been interesting seeing myself on camera and looking for that confidence to say, yes, this is a good piece because for XYZ, and putting it in there. And again, my coach helped me a lot with that and really helping me define what pieces to put in there, which ones not to include, what order to include them in, and why, and has been very helpful with that. And again, I've come a long way, so I'm very excited for that. Another cool development this week, let me look back at my calendar. I told you guys last week to keep your to-do tasks balanced, right? And I hope they are. I'm just going to show you mine really quick. It's all like kind of scribbled on, but there's a lot of X's in there. So for those of you that are listening, I just showed my calendar / to-do list, and there's a lot of X's on there, and I feel very happy and accomplished for that reason. And if you're seeing, you saw it got kind of sloppy. When my writing gets sloppy, it's because there's a lot going on and I'm just like on a hustle mode. But I've also been working on trying to write a little neater. But if I look back here, I wrote down a couple things that I wanted to touch on this week. I wanted to talk about my dog. I love my dog. I'll get to my dog later because it's an interesting point. And my demo reel was finished. I'm looking forward for that. Finding support from friends, loved ones, and those that are like-minded. I want to touch on that really quick because it's very important that we find those that are supportive of us in a very critical way, right? We want supportive criticism. And I've found more lately that it's so true to surround yourself around the right people that understand your journey, whatever it may be, and could give you positive criticism, because whether you like to or not, we listen to that criticism, right? We sometimes tell ourselves, well, who cares what people think, or don't listen to others and don't let it influence your path. But it does influence your path. And I think our friends are some of our best critics, but sometimes our friends and our loved ones may not understand our journey fully, and might not always give the best criticism. And I say that in a good way, because I think since we know each other, meaning you and your friends, or myself with my friends and family, it's easy to criticize. And I use the word criticize in a positive way, because we all need the criticism. But what I have found now, being part of this new program I'm in with the TV Hosting Academy, and being around others that are on the same path and same journey as us, it helps to have someone more understanding and really guide you through where you see your bigger picture. Because the people we allow into our lives or to our space might not fully understand that journey. And it's never, I think, an ill intention when they criticize, but if they don't fully understand that journey, it might not be so helpful. And I personally think for myself that I have not moved forward on some things because of the friendly criticism that we received from those close to us. And I compare it to like when you're in high school or when you're younger and you have like a crush on somebody that you really like, and sometimes your friends would criticize that person, like, no, like she's kind of ugly, or she does something weird. And then that criticism subconsciously kind of makes you not follow through with that crush, for example. When in reality, they might just be maybe hating a little bit, or they really just don't like them, and it influences your choice, right? So I think it's similar in the process that we do on our daily lives and trying to accomplish things. So before I babble on, I have finally found a group that I think I'm heading in the right direction, and they're very helpful, and I have very good feelings for 2021. That's just around the corner. Next Friday's Christmas. I hope to still put out an episode on Christmas Day. We'll see how that goes. I'm not going to be here at the home studio, but we'll find a way to do that. We have a lot of technology at our fingertips that there's really no reason to not put an episode out. But so again, finding those that are going to support your journey and be critical in a positive way about it. I heard someone say that we're not all on the same boat, that we're just in the same ocean and in different boats. And I think that kind of rings true. It's the first time I ever heard it put that way, but I think it's just putting it in a bigger picture, because some of us are in the same boat, some of us aren't, but we are all on the same ocean and in the same earth and same journey of accomplishment, right? So I think whoever you are and you surround yourself with, always be striving for your goals and help each other out, right? I think one way of contribution that I like to do is the proliferation of knowledge, right? I like to learn new things and experience new things, but mainly because I like passing them on. I enjoy the process of teaching. I enjoy the process of sharing information with people. So I was invited in the group as well to do a small editing class for video editing. Everybody's working with video, and as we realize how important video is and how it's at our fingertips, that it's almost an invaluable tool that we should have. And so I'm excited that in the new year coming up, I'll be teaching a video editing course. It's like a crash course, the principles of video editing, but we all have access to either on our computer through software, on our cell phone through apps. I think some of the coming videos that I'll be making, I want to do with the phone and keep it strictly to phone production, from post even including post-production, meaning I'll be editing videos on my phone, just to show that how simple it is and how we could do it, and there's really no reason to hold ourselves back because of what we have access to. And cool. So here's another process. I'm like, sometimes I lose my train of thought and then I a lot. So I asked myself, if you guys could leave in the comments, I ask myself to ask you guys to leave in the comments maybe some topics of interest you might have, or some other topics that I could kind of ramble on about, and staying focused, right? Because besides this conversation and this hosting that I'm trying to do and staying focused, it's staying focused on your goal and reaching that goal. Another really cool conversation and example I had along those lines was, there's a funny story behind that, and maybe one day I'll share it. But if you're listening and you know this story, it's cool. Did you guys hear that person yelling? I need to soundproof my windows. Man, se arreglan cortinas. We could use that. But anyway, so staying focused and keeping your eye on the prize type of thing, right? So this person described our goal setting and achieving kind of like a universe, right, of space, and like a lot of stars or dots, kind of like connect the dots. And you see your goal off in the distance, a shiny, bright star that you're trying to reach. And you think it's a straight, direct line to get there. And it is. If you see it and you don't lose sight of the prize, it's a straight line to it. But life doesn't happen that way. Life happens every day, and it happens different for everybody. So we get distracted, or we lose sight of the goal for a little bit. We might see another shiny star somewhere else, and we head in that direction. And it might not be such a distraction because all the dots connect, as long as we don't lose sight of our star and always head in that direction. And the journey is connecting all the stars and connecting all the dots. And when that person told me that, it was like, it was a great message they told me, and the state of mind I was in at that time, it just even resonated even more, I'll say. And it reminded me of when I was in 7th grade, my English teacher, Mr. Taylor, said a really cool quote to us when we were kids, and it still rings a bell today. And he said, you gotta aim high, you gotta dream big. And he said the example for that is, it's better to aim for the moon and miss than it is to aim for a pile of shit and hit it. And at first we were all laughing like, haha, he said shit, right? And we're, like I said, in 7th grade. But then he explained it. He says, if you aim for the moon and you miss, you still land amongst the stars. But if you aim for a pile of shit and you hit it, it's a pile of shit, right? And it still rings a bell today because it's right. It's like we aim big. We have to aim big and think big. We'll achieve big. And we have to believe that, right? And I think sometimes we forget, or if you're just hearing this now and this is speaking to you, keep it in mind, because as life happens and goes on, we forget those things, and we really have to keep our focus around what we want and really attract the things that we want, and speak it forward. So that, I think I'm really beginning that journey over again, but I have a good feeling about this one. I think it's going to be good, so stay tuned for that. Also, working or enjoying the things we do. I don't know how often you think about how much you enjoy what you do, whether it's for a living or something you want to pursue, or a hobby or an activity, but I think really enjoying something has a big part of it, and not just kind of enjoying it, right? I mean, something that, because tolerating something is not enjoying it, and it could only be sustained for so long. One example is like working out. We all, I think, have an idea of wanting to work out or self-improvement, or many of us have been in the gym or tried different exercise routines. And Like for me personally, some have gone for longer time than others. And I think a big part of it is the enjoyment of it. So, one example is hitting the gym. I've had stints where I've gone to the gym consistently, have noticed results, and have had like great workout partners that work with me to get better. But at the end of the day, I personally don't enjoy the gym so much. I don't enjoy weightlifting. It's a little repetitive for me, and I just don't get an enjoyment out of it. And so it only lasts so long. And other things that have helped me is like stay in shape has been like rock climbing. At one point in my life, I was rock climbing almost daily, and at least like five days a week. Outdoor rock climbing, indoor in the gym rock climbing for several hours, and that's something that I really, really enjoyed, and I really enjoyed the physical results I got out of it. The problem with rock climbing for me was that it was consuming so much of my time that I couldn't sustain that part of it, and it soon had to go away. Recently, I've been doing a lot of calisthenic workouts and exercises, body weight exercises with some equipment here at home, and that I've really enjoyed a lot as well. It's using like rings, parallel bars, and I think it's kind of like doing tricks a little bit, like kind of like gymnastics, like gymnasts on rings, and you're just wowed with the moves they do, and I'm impressed with the different things that our body can do, and so I'm striving for these big moves, and I can't do them, but I enjoy it. I enjoy that challenge. I enjoy the physical results, and I think that's going to be something that I end up sticking with for a longer period of time because I enjoy it so much, and because it's simple to do at home or anywhere. I don't need a big investment on equipment. I don't need a gym membership. So that's another thing that I have a really good feeling about that is going to continue, and that journey is going to be easier to follow because of the enjoyment factor. And so it goes back to the things that we do in our lives for a passion or for work. Just anything we do, we should definitely find enjoyment in it. If not some enjoyment, full out, I enjoy doing this and I could see me doing this forever. So I don't know how I got on that topic, but if you agree, comment below. If you disagree, comment below. If you don't know, I don't know, comment below. But I mentioned my dog earlier, and I want to talk about my dog because her name is Pika. I love Pika so much. My wife Ilana loves Pika so much. She's like a spoiled dog. So spoiled that we're in a group called Spoiled Malinois, and all these other people that spoil their dogs. So my dog is actually a half German Shepherd and half Belgian Malinois, and she's so smart, so lovely. We rescued her from the street. We picked her up. We spoke with some people. Long story short, she was a rescue, like borderline parvo, and she was one of two dogs that survived an 11 litter. She just came into our lives, I think, at the right time, and we love her so much. And the reason I want to talk about Pika is because she's been a great networking tool as well, because here in our neighborhood and where we live in Mexico City, it's totally a dog city, first of all, and it's totally like everybody is dog lovers here. Everybody has dogs. We live in a residential area with a lot of apartments and some homes, and just you go out and everybody has a pet. Everybody has a pet, and I think in the time that we've had Pika and we've been going out with her, we've met so much more people and made so many more friends than when we didn't. And it's really been a result of having our pet Pika, and it's like a conversation starter, and then it starts off with like the dogs making friends first, right? And it's kind of weird when you meet another person with a dog and the dogs come smell each other, they start to play, and you kind of laugh, haha, look at the owner, smile, how are you? Yeah, and like let them play. Okay, see ya. And then it becomes more regular, and you're like, oh, hey, what's their name? Yeah, okay, cool. And then some of them we never even know their names. We just know like you're, so and so's mom or dad. We say, and it's like the owners of the dogs. But others have resulted in great friendships. My wife has several friends now, best friends that have resulted from the relationships of our dogs. I recently met an individual who has two Malinois, and they saw our dog and they were like in love with her and started playing with her, asking us questions like, oh, how are they? How's their temperament? What do you do for training? Food? Like we just start those conversations, and it opens it up for us to speak about other things like walks of life, work, things of that nature. And in this example, this individual is a very successful entrepreneur, philanthropist, and we were brought together by it was our dogs. And I think it's funny because I never thought of her like as a tool like that, and she's really not a tool, but it's just interesting being open to conversations and topics and things, and it really simplifies that process. So if you do have a dog and can agree with me, let me know. And if not, maybe let me know some other ways that you find to network with strangers. It's different when you network like at an event or like a social group or online, but like to network with strangers and meet new people, I think it's a hard process. Not just, it's easier for others, but she has totally been so helpful with that. And she's very smart. I've been very thankful for that. We live in a small apartment, and really quickly she learned like not to, use the restroom or inside the apartment. She's very communicative when she's hungry or when she wants to play or go outside. And I don't know, I think we got lucky on that sense because it's made training her very simple. People even ask us like, where did you take her to get trained? And no, we trained her at home. We're just lucky that she's a pretty smart dog. So I kind of want to take the training to the next level though. I do want to teach better commands. I don't want her to be a security dog or an attack dog, but I would like to teach some sort of defense commands. But she's so playful with other dogs when we take her to the park that I don't want to kind of ruin that side of it. But maybe that doesn't happen. If you have a well-trained dog like that, let me know. Does it affect their temperament with people and other dogs if we go down that route? Or are they good enough or well enough to understand those differences? But totally excited about that. Excited for the new year to come. I don't know how you guys feel about 2020. I think it's been unanimous that 2020 kind of sucked, but it's over, right? We got a few weeks left, and we're going to enter 2021. And how do you guys feel? Do you feel we're going into another crazy year, or do you think it's going to be a better year? Do you have things to look forward to that you've been working on? I, myself, am really excited to start a new year, to start a new calendar, and I think that 2021 is really going to be a year where a lot of things really come together and start to materialize in things that I've been working on, projects. I just think it's better. I think everyone in 2020 has been like a learning process of this new norm of dealing with this pandemic that we've had to deal with. And I think things have kind of started to settle in a routine sense, meaning many of us have learned how to work differently. Many of us have been able to adapt and start new businesses or new passions. And I think now in 2021, it's going to be more of a developmental stage where those things are working or starting to work. And I think they're going to take off. One example is this podcast and type of content I'm putting out. I really had more time to dedicate to in the studio and focus on this and taking this journey to another level, and it's gonna explode. I just can tell that this next year is gonna explode. Another thing is, I mentioned in episode 1, I'm working on a project with a partner of mine in California, a good friend of mine. We're producing a product here in Mexico, and tomorrow it gets sent out to us, our first samples to start using them. So I think, again, starting 2021, that's just going to explode as well. What other things are happening in 2020? Technology is just like really awesome. At the rate of growth that we've seen in technology, I'm excited to see what's available and what some amazing people are starting to be more innovative. I mean, we've already been an innovative society, and now it's just going through the roof. But I'll leave it with that for this episode. This one, I think, felt a little more rough than the previous two, and I wonder why. But it felt more rough. Definitely felt more rough. But it leaves me with many things to think on. I hope that you stuck it through to the end. If so, leave it a like or subscribe. Definitely leave me a comment. If I lost you anywhere, open to those notes. But yeah, I'm gonna sign out. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. If you're listening, today's progress, yesterday's plan on Spotify and Amazon Music. And if you're watching, thank you for tuning into my channel, Sharkerio, with all kinds of stuff. And hope to catch you guys next time. Ciao. Done. That one wasn't the best one, but it's done. Got to keep them going. Peace in the East.